Hello and welcome back to Lard TV, where we're here to take another look at What a Cowboy. Now, in the last video I promised that we'd look at core game mechanics in the second film in the series, but I've changed my mind. Before we do that, I thought it would be helpful to look at characters and how we create them, and that's a great starting point for then to go on and look at how the game mechanisms affect real characters rather than just talk ethereally. Anyway, there's a whole section in the rules covering this, named The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, after Sid, myself and Nick, which I thought was a nice touch from John. There are 4 levels of characters in What a Cowboy. At the bottom of the tree there's the greenhorn, who has an inclination to wield a 6-shooter but little in the way of skills and may even be a bit nervy or jittery. Then we have the shootist, who's a character who's smelt the whiff of gun smoke and is likely to have 1 or more skills. And above them we have the gunslinger, who's an experienced and skillful individual and who's rarely caught out, always having something up their sleeve, often literally. Finally, we have the legend, and believe you me, this is a truly legendary character who is master of their trade. They will have numerous skills and are truly dangerous individuals. Now, you can start playing What a Cowboy with characters at any level, and there's a system in there for purchasing your forces so that you're going to get games that start off with relatively balanced forces up against each other. Now, that's perfect for a pick-up game. But in the campaign system, which I think is where the rules really shine, the characters either start off as a greenhorn or a shootist. Now, for a multiplayer game, we recommend having 1 of each for each player. So, we're going to be having a look at the campaign in a lot more detail in another film, but suffice to say here that the purpose of the campaign is to allow characters to develop and gain skills before they reach the grand finale, which is the showdown in the main street in the best Hollywood style. What I'm going to do now is generate a couple of characters so you can see how the system works. We'll be following these characters as we go forward through a series of short films. So let's start out first with the greenhorn. All we need to do this is the plain and simple D6. I personally don't like to select my figure for the character at this stage until I've actually created the character, because that will then give me a real indication of who this individual is. The first thing I do is consult the greenhorn table and I roll a D6. Okay, I've rolled a 2. So this individual's a cowhand by background. Maybe they've fallen on hard times, maybe they're turning to a life of crime as a consequence. Possibly they live in a bunkhouse at the ranch and they're defending the boss's land and livestock from in a range war. Well, whatever their motivation for picking up a gun, we now roll again on the cowhand table. And I rolled a 1. Now that's unfortunate, as that's a red result, as we can see here, which means it's a negative trait. My greenhorn is jumpy, and that means they will be harder to get them to activate if they become pinned due to fire from the enemy, as they're inclined to hunker down in cover, and who can blame them? That's not great. It's a negative trait, but it doesn't stay with them forever. If this character does well in their first game, they can jettison that negative aspect before going on to gain positive traits. So really what that's telling me is it's my job to nurse this individual through their baptism of fire. This is clearly a rookie, so I'm going to call this cowpoke Little Jim, as it suggests that he's someone a bit inexperienced. Now let's see if I do better with my shootist. In fact, I can't fail to do better actually, as the shootist can't start with negative traits, thank goodness. So I'm rolling my D6 on the shootist table. I've rolled a 4. So this is a buffalo hunter, a grizzly old timer, I reckon. Probably not smelling very pleasant, but let's roll again, another D6, and that's going to tell me more. Okay, good news. This is telling me my character is a marksman. Now that is good, because I know a marksman will gain a +2 to hit if they take a careful aim and make a single shot in an activation. Now this makes this individual a prime candidate for using a rifle or some other form of long arm, so he can stand off at distance and engage longer range targets. Now this prickly old character is going to go by the name of Cactus Denton, because I reckon there are plenty of spikes on this old boy, which is why he likes his own company. Talking of which, I now need to equip my characters, and as I have 2 of them, I roll 2d6. If I had 3, I'd roll 3d6 and so on. Let's see what I roll. Okay, oh, a 4 and a 3, so that's a result of 7, and it means I've got $70 to spend. Now the good news is that both my characters automatically come equipped with a 6-shooter and a horse, so this is $70 I've got to buy things that I want, not the basics that I need, which is a bit boring. So this can be exciting stuff. There are 2 places I can purchase from: the general store and the gunsmith. Now any character can purchase from the general store, only shootists and above can buy from the gunsmith, a more discerning clientele obviously. It's not just weapons that you can buy in the general store, there's all sorts of other handy items, from brass knuckles right the way through to crazy stuff like Ned Kelly style armour and even a Gatling gun. I'm not going to buy anything for little Jim, as I'd rather like to see him survive the first game before I spend money on him. I'd really like a Winchester 1 in 1,000 from the gunsmith for Cactus Denton, but that's $100, which I don't have. I could hang on to my $70 and hope to earn another 30 in the first game, but Cactus has got a skill and I'm keen to use it, so I'm actually going to spend $50 in the general store on buying an entry-level Winchester rifle. I could go on and spend the other $20 on some other bits and pieces, but I'm actually going to keep that in my purse for now, as after every campaign game I can go shopping and buy more kit, or maybe hire some of the local roughs and toughs to serve as henchmen with my gang. So that's my characters purchased and equipped for their first game. Now I can go away and find the best figures to use for Little Jim and Cactus Denton, after which we're going to be ready to select our scenario. Now in the next film we are going to be looking at the basics of the rules, the real nuts and bolts of the game mechanisms. So I hope to see you here for that. And for now it's just time for me to saddle up and hit the trail. Thanks for watching.